Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results and Superstar spoilers. But as usual, happy birthdays. October 7th, Rhino. He was born 1975. Caitlin, 1986. Aiden English, 1987. Paul Burchell, was born on October 8th, 1979. The Miz, happy birthday, 1980. October 8th. October 9th, Eddie Guerrero. May he rest in peace. I cheat, I steal. He was born in 1967, October 9th. Stevie Richards. Happy birthday goes to those. Noted that German director Lexi Alexander will be directing the crossface biopic, Chris Benoit and the 2007 murder-suicide. The movie will be produced by Alex A. Ginsberg and Tony Lee of Let It Play, and executive produced by Ram Getz and Matthew Randazzo. Jake Goldberger and Sarah Coulter will write the script that is based on Randazzo's Ring of Hell, the story of Chris Benoit, and the fall of the pro wrestling industry book, which you can purchase that book somewhere at your local store. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, or actually you can do a search online for it. Go to Google. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, someone who was once involved with the movie it was originally going to be loosely based on Irv Muchnik's book about the murders, but negotiations fell apart, and now it will be loosely based on Randazzo's book. Industry giant William Morris Endeavor, WME, who is also involved with the movie, at one point suggested that the film have scenes to open up speculation that former WCW booker Kevin Sullivan had something to do with the murders. That was my prediction myself. Which has been a conspiracy theory for years, as Kevin Sullivan never did like Chris Benoit, and he was formerly married to Nancy Benoit. WME also suggested that they have late wrestler Johnny Grunge, perhaps scripted as Benoit's best friend, be the one who found Eddie Guerrero's body in his hotel room after a WWE WrestleMania event at Madison Square Garden. In reality, Eddie's body was found by his nephew, Chavo Guerrero, before a TV taping in Minnesota. Another crazy idea that goes back to the Sullivan speculation was to write a scene where Sullivan broke into Benoit's house. To add to the speculation that he was involved, the original writer, Richard O. Sullivan, says he left the project because he refused to write the Sullivan speculation into the film. While those wacky ideas were suggested, those still close to the movie say it will be based a lot more on the real story. Now, regarding the cast, Michael Hall, who was once suggested to play Benoit, but his rep said he didn't want to play a killer and be a typecast. Kellen Lutz and Liam McIntyre were also discussed for the Benoit role, but that's been a while back. There are also rumors that Liev Schreiber playing Benoit, but those were nixed. Well, WWE is reported not happy with the idea of the movie even being made. It's believed that the movie will show drugs, perhaps steroids or others, along with CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, as a possible explanation for why Benoit did what he did. Into that. Well, other news going around. One of the late, great WWE Hall of Famer Roddy Piper's last movie roles was the horror film, The Chair, in which he plays a vicious guard named Murphy. The film is based off of Peter Simeti's graphic novel, which is about an innocent man on death row who witnesses his fellow inmates get brutally murdered at the hands of the prison's crazy warden. You can check out a trailer at this link here for that. Simeti sent the following regarding the film. Casting my childhood hero, Roddy Piper. Even if you don't like horror thrillers, comic books, supporting indie creators, or all the above, get a ticket to The Chair, because Roddy Piper was freaking brilliant in this film, and performances deserves to be seen. Yep, go to that YouTube link for you. Let me take a step back a bit and explain that, for the sake of full disclosure, the chair is based on a comic book I wrote back in 2006 and 2008, but don't see it because I wrote it. After all, who even cares about who the hell I am? I'm just another comic creator working a 16-hour day. Who I am hardly matters to all that point of this story. I was fortunate enough to be able to cast the film, and I immediately knew that I wanted to cast the actors that I loved as a kid. Of course, I started out the traditional way by sending letters and emails to agents. Well, that got nowhere fast. After being tired of playing the waiting game, I took matters in my own hands and contacted people on Facebook and Twitter. Some responded, some didn't. Some said yes, some said no. Some of the rejections were from ridiculously nice folks like Tony Todd, Doug Jones, Mark Hamill, Viggo Mortensen, Brian Thompson, Lauren Lester, Phil Lamar, Kevin Conroy, Lou Temple, Clint Howard, Billy Drago. The list goes on and on and on. Everyone that responded was kind and courteous, and every rejection blew my mind because they were all the point people I loved when I was growing up. The people said yes, though the ones that actually are in the film, that's the special stuff. Reaching out on social media, I managed to contact Zach Galligan of Gremlins and Waxwork fame. Someone I had on a lunchbox, but I was in kindergarten. Noah Hathaway, who doesn't love Atreyu. Naomi Grossman, as a big fan of her work on American Horror Story, this one was just so very cool. Susan Eisenberg, the voice of Wonder Woman from the Justice League Unlimited series, and just such a truly wonderful person. Ken Schreiner, another voice actor from Justice League Unlimited, this time Green Arrow. Just a funny guy. Joe Laurinaitis, animal from Road Warriors Tag Team in the WWF days of the WWE. Joe Pilato, Captain Rhodes from Day of the Dead. And of course, the legendary Roddy Piper. Does Roddy really need any explanation? If so, just put on the glasses, because I'm all out of bubblegum. Now, everyone did a fantastic job on this film. There's strong performances all around, especially given the deep, thought-provoking, and disturbing high-tension subject matter in this old-school style horror film. It's not a torture porn film. There isn't gore for the sake of shock value here. Deaths of characters matter to the plot, and characters aren't just complete throwaways that are fodder for the cheap scares. The reason I mentioned Roddy is because that was the last feature film he did before he unexpectedly passed away. When I first spoke with Roddy, he had already read the script and loved it. He loved the nastiness of the character of Murphy, the complexity, the nuance of desensitized nature of Death Rogard. That scene, it all and done it all. He was just so thrilled to be part of it. As a child, I had Roddy Piper bed sheets, Roddy Piper wrestling figures, and I even dressed up as Roddy Piper, the wrestler, and Roddy as Nada from the creepily relevant classic They Live. So to hear a childhood hero speak with such enthusiasm over something that I created, well, I just couldn't believe it. Roddy cared so much about this role, and we had multiple phone calls going over the character as he took notes and offered his own spin on things as well. But the absolute best part about those calls was in the fact that they'd turn into longer talks about family and life and our experiences working against the odds and following a dream. He was a great guy, and due to an awful snowstorm in Boston at the time, I wasn't able to fly out during filming and shake his hand and thank him for his time and friendship. Texts and phone calls, as great as they were, just aren't the same thing. It's something I'll always regret. As a child, I loved Roddy's energy and his larger-than-life presence. He was a hero of mine, even when he was a villain. As an adult, I loved how humble and approachable he was, and how he made you feel like he knew you his whole life. You don't often get to meet your childhood heroes, and sometimes when you do, you wish you hadn't. But Roddy went above and beyond expectations, just like he always did. Please check the chair trailer in the video the link that I gave. I'll probably even extend it through this whole little segment. So you can see the link a little bit longer, at least a minute at least. You can order tickets as well. We have special screenings playing in 28 cities, and tickets are only available to order for the next 45 days. If you see the film, hope you enjoy it. It's perfect viewing for this Halloween season. If you do watch it and you see Roddy being the nastiest villain you've ever seen him play, take solace in the fact that he was really one of the nicest and most caring people to ever walk this earth. Get more details on film at thechairhorror.com. You might even get a longer trailer for it. Recently, WWE superstar and Fozzy frontman Chris Jericho was a guest on You're Welcome with Charles Sonnen. Among other things, Jericho discussed how he felt over his head when he first arrived in WWE, how his WWE brand extension may help performers, and how he's enjoyed seeing people who are doing things for the right reasons succeed. According to Jericho, whose current WWE run will likely continue through the new year, he felt it over his head when he got to WWE in 1999. The Jericho member admitted that he learned how to get real heat in 2008, working with Shawn Michaels, and went on to say that he feels as though he is one of the only true heels left in WWE. I was doing kind of a heel character in WCW. It was more of a comical type thing, like Sonnen said, a funny heel. And so I just brought that character over to WWE, and I had been wrestling for 9 years by the time I got to WWE, and realized pretty quickly that when I was over my head, as far as I didn't know much as I thought I knew. So I think for the first years I was there, I was a heel at times. It was a babyface at times. I think when I first came in, I meant it to be a heel, and it kind of wasn't, because I really didn't know what to get heat at the time. I think I started to figure it out when I worked with Shawn Michaels in 2003, but I think in 2008, when I turned on Shawn again, that's when I really got what being a heel was really about. And that's when I was, for sure, the most hated guy in the business. There was nobody that thought I was a likable heel at that point. Jericho added that it's not what I'm doing all the way. I still think I'm one of the only actual heels in the company. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having that entertaining side. Jericho said in suit wearing, self-righteous, honest man gimmick would be too draining at this point in his professional wrestling career. Well, they've already did the corporate people. 2008, 2009, completely stripped myself of all that and really dropped into the character to really make sure that people didn't like me. It took a lot out of me. You hear stories of Heath Ledger passing away after being the Joker, and for whatever it was, from an overdose or problems getting out of the depth he dropped himself into. Jericho continued, I didn't care who I insulted. I didn't care if I made kids cry. All I wanted to do was make people pay to see me get beat up. And it worked. It was probably the best run of my career. The one I'm on right now is pretty close, but that type of a heel is hard to play. It's mentally draining on you, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. I tried, and if I tried in 2016, I couldn't be the guy that I was in October 2008. There's no way. During that podcast, the first ever undisputed WWE champion suggested that the brand split provides talents with more TV time while giving them a break from working both with WWE Monday Night Raw and WWE SmackDown Live. It's a great idea because it gives guys a little more TV time, and it gives you a little bit of a mental break of not having to worry about 2 TVs a week. That's hard. 3 if you have a pay-per-view. So that might help a little bit because house shows are a lot easier than TVs, a lot easier, and not having to worry about that twice a week. That can help guys physically and mentally. Jericho then admitted that he is happy to see AJ Styles reach his goal and playing a role in getting the Styles Clash unbanned in WWE. Additionally, Jericho divulged that he helped Victor from the Ascension secure the gift of a WWE tryout when he learned the young Canadian was living in his car to make shows. Well, I'll tell you, it's a cool thing feeling whenever you see guys you've worked long and hard to achieve their goal. And obviously, AJ coming in was a no-brainer. It was the same with Daniel Bryan came in. At first, he was kind of behind the eight ball. And I said, there's nothing they can do to stop him. He has gotten over everywhere he has ever been. He has a great main event match everywhere he has ever been. Eventually, it's going to happen here. And I said with AJ too. My favorite thing about AJ was that it started basically with me. I helped him cut his teeth into WWE. I helped him get his finish unbanned. I mean, the Styles Clash was banned when it first came in, and I helped him kind of unlock that so he could start using it. So all that stuff, I kind of take an extra special pride in helping him. Jericho recalled one of the guys from the Ascension, Victor, is a dude from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, that was living in his car. He just wanted a shot, and I told Johnny Laurinaitis when he was head of talent relations then, dude, this guy's living in his car. Can you give him a shot? At least give him a tryout, give him a chance. Now he has got a full-time gig on the roster. So anytime I see somebody who I know is doing it for the right reasons, it always makes me happy. Tyson Kidd said earlier this week that he still can't feel his head or move it the way he used to after being injured over a year ago. He added that he is still focused on his recovery. Kidd has mostly been quiet about his status, but Bruce Hart claimed at one point that Kidd would never wrestle again. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the backstage atmosphere on the night of the injury was far worse than it was ever reported, with people backstage scared to death over what happened. At one point, MLW Radio cleared up rumors that Kidd's contract will expire soon, and that he actually renewed it. WrestleZone reported that it was a source close to Kidd believed that there will be updates soon about his injury and future. And that concludes that part, as well as Jericho's. But Shelton Benjamin, WWE turn was put on hold after he apparently will require surgery for a torn rotator cuff. And Benjamin will start taking non-physical bookings as soon as the surgery is over with. And he's taking appearance for autograph sessions starting in November. Interested parties can email him at this link. There's his email address. Booking Shelton Benjamin at yahoo.com. Two-man power trip for pro wrestling was joined in by TNA Impact Wrestling star Robbie E. Fresh off Bound for Glory and all the crazy speculation regarding TNA's future, Robbie joins John and Chad for an interesting, to say the least, chat, pulling no punches on how he feels about TNA's immediate future and all the naysayers that constantly try to break down all that TNA has been able to accomplish in the last year. The full episode as well on the entire two-man power trip. I always post a link, but I didn't get it this time. TMPT. I forgot what it was. I didn't get it. Thoughts looking back at Bound for Glory. It's the biggest pay-per-view of the year, and it was great from top to bottom. Everyone always works their asses off. The crowd was magical and electric, and the building was rocking. It's cool because everyone always has their best gear on, and it was a special night for a lot of people. What is the vibe against the TNA locker room with all the rumors and speculation of its future dominating the headlines? Just what it always been. I think people think wrestlers read the internet more than they actually do. Maybe some do, but I'm just not a wrestler who does that stuff like that. I don't do like internet stuff, so I look at it all differently than other people do. I think mood is always awesome at TNA. Why wouldn't it be? We are getting paid to be wrestlers, and we all live in nice houses and drive nice cars. At least I do. Why wouldn't we all be in good mood? Rumors of TNA imminently closing. The thing is, do you know when I worry about when TNA closes? When TNA closes, until then, who cares? Over the past 6 years, every other month, people are always saying it's closing, and why are you saying this? The thing is, in 2016, I guess it's just cool because it's not just TNA, it's just what people do in general, and it's being negative, and it is cool for them to do. People just bash stuff and be negative, and that sucks. Does it bother him that people constantly try to bury TNA? No, because if they are talking, it is better than if they're not talking. Not to bury you, at least the name TNA is coming out of their mouth. They may not realize it, but they are actually helping us by talking about it. And that was the end of his thing. And I've got something else to say. Matt Hardy has posted something on YouTube that he's offering his money to buy out TNA as well. He would love to buy TNA. Delete TNA. He changed the name himself, just like Billy Corgan said. WWE announced that Paige has been suspended for 60 days due to her second violation of the company wellness policy. Paige's father, UK promoter Ricky Knight, took to his Facebook page and revealed that Paige had been prescribed painkillers to help her deal with a long-term neck injury. He wrote, "Okay, here we go again. Yes, I know about my daughter suspended. Once again, this time for 60 days. She has not failed a drug test. My daughter has had a long-term neck injury, which has not been dealt with yet. I have asked my daughter to return to UK for help with this injury as help and direction. In the USA has not been forthcoming. She has been in pain and in and out of the ring for a fair while now, and has been prescribed painkillers, which apparently is against the wellness program. I feel my daughter has been let down big time in the USA, and the proper care and advice needed in the position she has is not happened. To say I am pissed off with the situation is an understatement. This is my statement. I am not open to questions. Thank you for your cooperation." Paige's mother, Sarah Knight, responded on her Facebook page, and she wishes Paige would just come home to the UK. And she added, "Sometimes letting out a scream just doesn't sound loud enough. Banging your head against the wall doesn't reach the spot. Closing down emotionally causes inner demons to surface. Asking for help creates rumors. Being in a sea of people, but being alone. Sometimes life just sucks." For those who missed it, Paige wrote following after her suspension was announced at Real Paige WWE. "Same shit, different day. Kids, please don't get prescriptions or doctor's notes. Not acceptable." And the second tweet, "Rules apply depending on your status." Paige's boyfriend, Alberto Del Rio, who is now using the name of Alberto El Presidente, as he's now president of another company, spoke with ESPN and says he believes Paige is being treated unfairly by WWE. He said, "It's just like she said in her statement this afternoon," which was on Monday. "Same shit, different day, my friend." Regarding rumors that WWE has tried to break the two up, the former champion said, "To be honest, I don't care what they say or what they try to do. We are together and we are happy. I know a lot of people are not happy, but regardless of whatever people say, we can be happy. We can be together, and we are going to stay together because we are happy. If someone is not comfortable or happy about it, we just don't care. We are getting to continue our life. Our families are happy, and we're happy. That's all that matters. Well, there was a question on Twitter while Devon is working his new backstage producer's job with WWE. It looks like Bubba Ray Dudley will be focused on opening a second Team 3D Academy in the Northeast, as he tweeted a picture and showing it here. At Bully Ray 5150, coming soon, Team 3D Academy, Northeast, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Hashtag WWE No Mercy. Noam Dar will make his WWE Raw debut on tonight's show on the Monday night show from Oakland, California. Other cruiserweights backstage tonight include Tony Nese, Area DeVary, and I was right when I did say he's the brother of Sean DeVary, who is also has a wrestling school with Mr. Anderson, who will be making his debut if he wrestles, which he did on the Raw program. WWE will continue the feud between Brian Kendrick and Cruiserweight Champion T.J. Perkins on Raw. It's believed that Kendrick versus Perkins will be announced for Hell in a Cell on Raw. 2016 Tribute to the Truth tapings will take place on Tuesday, December 13th from the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. No word yet, but I did get a confirmation that it will air the next night, December 14th. But no confirmation on what superstars will be appearing. But as soon as I find out, I'll keep you updated. As seen here, WWE, this picture here, Trish Stratus, Hall of Famer, announced on Twitter at trishstratus.com. This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for my growing family, for my babies. Hashtag, here we go again. Hashtag, baby on the way. Hashtag, baby number 2. Hashtag, Max is going to be a big brother. Yes, she's pregnant. Congratulations, Trish and her husband. Backstage correspondent Charlie Caruso is now working Raw, while Andre DeMarco is now working SmackDown. They did a swap-a-roo. Andrea started with the blue brand at No Mercy on Sunday, and Charlie worked Raw. Superstar spoilers. The Shining Stars defeated the 2 local wrestlers on no name. Darren Young defeated Jinder Mahal, WWE Hall of Famer. Bob Backlund was at ringside. Loud pop for Young. Revealed on the pre-show, Sin Cara is now a member of the Cruiserweight division at WWE. Looks like at Sin Cara WWE and Lucha LD will team up. You can see this link here as well. And they face at Tony Nese and at Drew Gulak tonight on Raw. That was their advertised match. As seen on Raw, Bayley defeated a local indie talent named Cammy Fields. Cammy was actually played by indie wrestler Holly Dead, who can be seen below. I'll show you a picture of that as well. There's also the link here. This video link on her Raw match. WWE's week has this week's SmackDown will feature a tag team match with Randy Orton and Kane versus Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. Tonight's Raw opened up from Oakland, California, with power going off inside the Oracle Arena. Michael Coleslaw welcomes us. He's joined in by Corey Graves and Byron Saxon. We go right to the ring. Out comes Raw Women's Champion Sasha Banks as JoJo introduced her. The era look back at last week's title change. Fan chant, "You deserve it," as Sasha takes the mic. She says she feels like she's on top of the world right now. She said that she had big dreams growing up as she watched her hero, Eddie Guerrero. Fan chant for Eddie now. Sasha wishes Eddie a happy birthday. Yep, Monday was his birthday. She watched Lita and Trish Stratus tear it up in the main event and wanted to be like them. Her dreams came true last week. She put her body on the line and stole the whole show when she became 2-time champion. Sasha says this isn't just about her. It's about the women who came before her, the ones still to come, and the little girls at home who want to be like her. Sasha goes on and proposes that Charlotte's rematch at Hell in a Cell take place inside the cell. Could it be the first ever steel cage match for women. The music hits, out comes Charlotte. Charlotte walks to the ring, but she's interrupted by Rusev's music. She stops on the ramp as Lana and Rusev march to the ring. Rusev takes the mic. Charlotte is in the ring now. Rusev says nobody cares about the stupid women's revolution or the fact that they invented Raw last week. He goes on until Charlotte snatches the mic. She asks Rusev who the hell he thinks he is. No one disrespects the Queen. Charlotte accepts Sasha's challenge for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Rusev takes the mic back. He says this is his ring, and whatever he says goes. Sasha smacks the mic out of his hand. Lana gets in between them. Lana calls them lost women who need to know their place. She says they whine like little girls. She goes on and they knock her down. Rusev gets upset. Sasha and Charlotte knock him to the floor. Lana joins him and throws a fit. Rusev comes back to the apron and enters the ring. The music hits and out comes WWE US Champion Roman Reigns. To a mixed reaction, Rusev readies for a fight, but leaves with Lana as Reigns looks on from the ring with Sasha and Charlotte. Reigns' music hits and he raises the title as Lana and Rusev leave. Still to come, Paul Heyman addresses Bill Goldberg's comments about Brock Lesnar on ESPN last week. Also, Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho, back to commercial. Back from the ring, out comes Tag Team Champions New Day. They cut a promo and say, at Hell in a Cell, they will show Sheamus and Cesaro why they are best. Or the best. They start dancing and Cesaro's music hits. Out he comes. Cesaro versus Kofi Kingston was up next. Cesaro making his entrance on the stage, but Sheamus comes out and walks straight to the ring. Tension and one-upping between the two continue. Back and forth to start. Sheamus is streaming live on Facebook, but not paying attention to the match. We go to commercial with a stand-up at ringside. Sheamus still has his back turned and what's going on. Back for the break, Cesaro hits a top rope elbow for a 2 count. We see he hits some uppercuts during the commercial. Kobe comes back and hits a crossbody for a 2 count. Kobe keeps control and hits a boom drop. Kobe waits for Cesaro to get up, but misses the Trouble in Paradise. Cesaro with a running uppercut. Cesaro with another uppercut from the floor. Cesaro gets a 2 count. Cesaro with uppercuts from the corner to corner, then gets a boot to the face for a 2 count. Cesaro blocks a shot and goes to apply the sharpshooter, but Kobe avoids it. Kobe then springboards in, but botches it and lands on the mat. Sheamus and Woods end up getting into it at ringside. Sheamus drops him. Big E runs over Sheamus. Kobe takes advantage of the distraction and rolls Cesaro up for the win. As Cesaro is going for the Cesaro swing. After the match, New Day make their exit. As we go to replays, Sheamus and Cesaro aren't happy. They have words and Sheamus storms off, calling Cesaro a loser. Foley has made Reigns and Sasha versus Rusev and Charlotte for later. Back from the break, announcers show us Goldberg's comments from ESPN SportsCenter, where he said if he did make a return to the ring, he'd be interested in facing Brock Lesnar again. Paul Heyman will be here tonight to respond to those comments. Bayley versus Cammy Fields. Again, you go to that link from earlier. We got the ring, out comes Bayley as her opponent. A local enhancement talent waits in the ring. She gets a pop as she's from nearby San Jose, which is where SmackDown is at doing their taping. Live show. Live event. Live SmackDown. Bayley starts off in control, but Cammy turns around, works her over a few minutes. Bayley catches Cammy into Bayley to belly. Suplex out of nowhere for the win. After the match, Bayley celebrated as we go to replays. Bayley goes to the stage to celebrate, but Dana Brooke attacked her from behind. Dana left Bayley laying as the fans boo, and we go to a replay. So to come segment, Mick Foley will address the Hell in a Cell, and Sasha makes a proposal about the commercial. Chris Jericho backstage on the phone with somebody. He's ranting about how good he is. Jericho tells the other person to do their job and get him that big payday. R-Truth appears, and he has a payday candy bar for Jericho, but that's not the kind of payday he's looking for. Sin Cara and Lince Dorado versus Drew Gulak and Tony Nese. They go to the ring, and Tony Nese waits with Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Tag Team match. Lince Dorado is out first for his team. Out comes Sin Cara, who is now in the Cruiserweight division. Gulak and Dorado go to start the match. Gulak tags in early on. Nese runs into a boot and comes Sin Cara for some double teaming. and a 2 count. Dorado comes back in and nails knees from the top while Sin Cara holds him down. Gulak gets a cheap shot while Nice has the referee distracted. Gulak tags back in and keeps Dorado in the corner. Gulak gets a 2 count. Gulak with a submission. Nice comes back in and kicks Dorado in the face before keeping him grounded. Gulak comes back in, but Dorado takes them both down. Sin Cara tags in and hits a moonsault on both opponents. Gulak takes a tilt-the-world backbreaker. Sin Cara with more offense and a roll-up on Gulak for a 2 count. Sin Cara powers up and power bombs Gulak for a 2 count as Nice breaks up the pin. Sin Cara drop kicks Nice off the apron. Dorado tags in, and Sin Cara dives out onto Nice. Dorado takes care of Gulak and goes up for the shooting stars press to get the win. After the match, Sin Cara and Dorado stand tall in the ring as we go to replays. Foley is backstage walking with Stephanie McMahon, approaches him. She gives him props for his custom flannel suit. She wants to join him for his Hell in a Cell address, and he tells her that would be great. They walk off together, back to commercial. Back from the break, Raw General Manager Mick Foley is out with his Raw Commissioner, Stephanie McMahon, for his Hell in a Cell address. Fans are chanting for Foley and his suit. Stephanie says, "No Mercy was good last night, but Hell in a Cell will be better." Foley talks about Sasha Banks and Charlotte wanting the Hell in a Cell match. Foley says they don't get what they want. They get what they deserve. He announces that the first ever Hell in a Cell match for the women's division will take place. Foley goes on and announces that Seth Rollins versus WWE Universal Champion Kevin Owens will also take place inside the cell, making it 3 that night. The music interrupts and out comes Owens with Chris Jericho. Owens doesn't want to be in a Hell in a Cell because he doesn't want to end up some broken, washed-up GM like Foley. Jericho accuses Foley of giving the match to Rollins because he asked for it. Owens says Rollins doesn't deserve another shot at the title. Jericho goes on and accuses Foley of disliking him for 19 years. Jericho put Foley on the list. I missed the first hour and a half of Raw, and this is where I came in and saw this little part because they did a replay later as well. Owens says Rollins doesn't deserve another shot at the title. Jericho goes on and okay, already did that. Jericho wants Stephanie to take care of Foley, but she yells at him, saying he should respect Foley. Stephanie doesn't care about any list. This leads to Stephanie proposing that Jericho be put into the Universal title match at Hell in a Cell if he can defeat Rollins tonight. Stephanie says that way everyone will be happy. Foley makes it official. She tells Owens and Jericho to have a nice day. Jericho smiles as Owens looks shocked. Rollins is backstage with Charlie Caruso. He wonders what Owens thinks about Jericho going into the match. Rollins says he's the man who is going to destroy the machine piece by piece. Rollins welcomes Charlie to Raw and walks off. Till it comes second, Rusev and Charlotte versus Reigns and Sasha. Also, Paul Heyman will address Bill Goldberg's comments on ESPN from last week. Back to commercial. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Well, Social Outcasts are back together. At least 2 of them. Versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Back from the break, Curtis Axel is out with Bo Dallas. We see video from the Raw pre-show where Axel revealed that he asked Mick Foley to put the Social Outcasts in a match. They seemed to be on the same page. Enzo Amore and Big Cass are out next to a pop. Enzo and Cass cut promos in the ring until they are attacked from behind by Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They beat on Enzo and hit him with the boot of doom before turning their attention to Big Cass. They leave him laying with a bandit killer. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we see what just happened to Enzo and Cass. Axel has a mic. He asks if they're on an episode of Swerve or something. He said they were promised a tag team match, and tonight they're not leaving until they get it. Axel tells Foley to send opponents out because they want to fight right now. Sami Zayn and Neville come out for their opponents. Music hit, and first comes Sami. Sami heads down the ringside and waits for his partner Neville. Bo starts out with Sami as they go to the corner. Bo takes corner and unloads on Sami. Bo with a big clothesline and then some stomping. Referee pulls Bo off. But he does. He goes right back to work, and in comes Axel. The end comes when Sammy does a haluva kick on Axel, and Neville tags right in for the red arrow. Neville covers for the pin, and Sammy stands guard. After the match, Bo takes his Bo leave and Bo sign and leaves as Sammy and Neville look on. We go to replays. Charlotte backstage with Lana. When Lana walks up, Lana suggests Charlotte stay out of her husband's way, or there will be severe consequences. Lana storms off, and we go to commercial. I didn't see the match there. I took my dog out for a walk. R-Truth versus Titus O'Neil was up next. We go to ring. Goldust and R-Truth are out rapping. Lyrics are displayed on the screen tonight. So we got karaoke night. We see backstage video of the segment from earlier tonight that led to this match. Titus is upset over Truth getting the payday candy bar gig earlier. Titus mushes Truth to start. Truth tackles him and goes to work. Truth comes back and shows Titus up. Truth with a kick and a pin attempt. Truth keeps on, but Titus drops him with a boot. Titus with more offense and a 2 count. My feed goes out, so I didn't get to see the finish of the match. Titus with a pair of rib breakers before tossing Truth. This is why I'm going to dirt sheets for most of the entire Raw show. Goldust rallies on the steel steps. He got up like he was getting on the apron, but just stomps on the steps. Truth takes advantage of the distraction and rolls Titus up for the win. After the match, Goldust and Truth celebrate at ringside as Titus looks on from the corner. Brian Kendrick's backstage when T.J. Perkins walks up. Perkins says he knows the real Kendrick, and he's not a bad guy. Perkins says Kendrick is scared that he won't make it this run. Perkins says Kendrick didn't need to beat him with a cheap shot last week. He would have given Kendrick another shot just because who he is. Perkins recalls some of their early days together. Perkins says it's not too late for Kendrick to be the guy that he knows, the Brian Kendrick. They shake hands. Perkins goes to leave, but Kendrick tried to attack him, but Perkins put him on the floor. Knocked him on the floor with a forearm. Perkins guessed he was wrong and walked off. So, I guess I was wrong. Later on, Kendrick goes to Stephanie or Mick Foley and says, I didn't do that. I was stepping off and I got hit. Back from the break, we see some of NFL Oakland Raiders at ringside. Handicap match, Braun Strowman versus the Splash Brothers. 2 generic guys. We go to the ring. Out comes Braun Strowman for a 2-on-1 handicap match. This is supposed to be somebody that he wants some competition. Byron Saxton is in the ring with the Splash Brothers, Steven and Clay. They cut promos on being from Oakland and their mother telling them to go out and make a splash. They're jumping into the deep end and taking Braun with them tonight. The bell rings and they both attack Braun. He knocks them away. He fights off another double team attempt. Braun nails a running splash in the corner while the other brother is on his back. Braun nails a double drop kick on both brothers and hits a running power slam. Braun slams Steven on top of Clay and then pins them both for the pinfall. After the match, Braun stands tall as we go to replays. Saxton tries to interview Braun after the match, but Braun scares him out of the ring. Braun addresses Mick Foley and says this wasn't good enough. He wants real competition next week, or what happens will be on Foley's hands. Backstage segment with Sasha and Roman. Sasha says she knows what she's getting herself into with a Hell in a Cell. She tells Reigns to just take care of Rusev tonight. Sasha walks off, and we go to commercial. Back from the break, we get Royal Rumble hype already. 2 months away. Roman Reigns and Sasha versus Rusev and Charlotte. Of course, you got intergender match rules. If the guy tags in, well, The other guy has to come in. If the woman tags in, the women have to wrestle. We got a ring. Out first comes Charlotte. Rusev was out next. Raw Women's Champion Sasha Banks is out first for her team. U.S. Champion Roman Reigns is out next. We get some stalling with tags to start. Back and forth between Reigns and Rusev for several minutes. Fans chant for Sasha. Sasha ends up taking Charlotte down on the floor, and Reigns sends Rusev out beside her. We go to commercial with Reigns and Sasha standing tall in the ring while Rusev and Charlotte are looking on from the floor. Back from the break, Rusev drop kicks Reigns for a 2 count. Fan chant for Sasha again. Well, we got big men doing drop kicks all weekend. We got had it at No Mercy, and then we got it on Raw. Rusev keeps control and slams Reigns for a 2 count. Reigns comes back with a Superman punch out of nowhere. Charlotte tags in, as does Sasha. Sasha strikes first. She goes on and hits a drop kick. Sasha ends up hitting the double knees as Charlotte goes to the corner. Sasha with a running knees in the corner, and then another double knees for a 2 count. Charlotte ends up rolling her up for a 2 count. Sasha applies the bank statement. Rusev comes in, but Reigns spares him. Jumping over Charlotte and Sasha in the hold, and Charlotte taps out. A spear over the top of both of them. Well, where did the match Roman Reigns and Sasha? After the bell, Sasha's music hits as she stands tall with Reigns in the middle of the ring. We go to replays. Tom Phillips approaches Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho backstage. Owens doesn't matter if it's singles match or triple threat at Hell in a Cell. He's walking out with the title. Jericho says because they're best friends, and if one is a champion, the other one is also a champion. Owens ends up dismissing Tom from their locker room right after Jericho puts him on the list. We see Paul Heyman walking backstage. Back to commercial. We look at Goldberg's recent comments on ESPN Sports Center. Paul Heyman is in the ring as JoJo makes the introduction. Heyman hypes 2K17 video game that comes out on video already. And it comes out Tuesday morning at midnight, whatever it used to come out. I don't know if it still does. Leads us to a video package of Brock Lesnar dominating Goldberg in the game. Heyman cuts a promo and says he's authorized to challenge Goldberg to fight against Lesnar. Anytime, any place. Heyman goes on and says in Suplex City, Goldberg isn't himself. He's next. And then he walks off. We get new vignette for Emelina, returning soon on Raw. Brian Kendrick makes his way out for commentary as we go to commercial. TJ Perkins versus Area DeVary, the brother of Sean DeVary. Back from the break, out comes Raw Cruiserweight Champion, TJ Perkins. He stops and stares at Kendrick on the way to the ring. Kendrick versus Perkins is confirmed for Hell in a Cell. Area DeVary is out next, making his Raw debut. We get a sidebar video of DeVary, and it's acknowledged that his brother is former WWE superstar. And he has the same ring attire. Yeah, with the that gimmick. Perkins ends up getting the win after a good back and forth match. After the break, Kendrick applauds Perkins from the stage. Perkins heads up the ramp and stops to stare out at Kendrick. Backstage segment with Stephanie and Jericho. He apologizes for putting her name on the list earlier tonight, but says he removed her from it. She says a win for Jericho tonight is a win for Raw, as that triple threat at Hell in a Cell will blow away SmackDown's triple threat at No Mercy. Stephanie implies that Jericho should get over on Owens to get the win at Hell in a Cell. Owens walks up and wants to know what that was all about. After Stephanie left, Jericho says friendship and walks off. We get a look at Tito Santana for Hispanic Heritage Month. Back from the break, the announcers show a tweet from Goldberg that says he will be live next week on Raw in Denver to respond to Paul Heyman's challenge. Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins is up next. Looks like your main event. We go to the ring. Out first comes Chris Jericho for tonight's main event. Seth Rollins is out next. If Jericho wins this match, he gets a spot in the Universal title match at Hell in a Cell. Rollins strikes first and wipes his rear with Jericho's scarf. Rollins unloads in the corner, but gets caught with a right to the eye. Seth comes back with a running knee. Rollins turns it around, keeps control. Rollins with a blockbuster for a 2 count. Jericho ends up going to the floor for a breather. Rollins kicks him through the ropes. Rollins follows and sends Jericho into the barrier. Rollins with another shot into the barrier. Rollins with a double axe handle off the apron. Rollins sends Jericho into the steel steps and brings him back in. Music interrupts and out comes the Universal Champion Kevin Owens to the stage. Jericho kicks a distracted Rollins and drops him rib first over the top rope. We go to commercial with Rollins down. Back from the break, Jericho is in control as Owens watches from ringside. Jericho keeps the upper hand and works on Rollins into the ribs. Rollins drops Jericho into the turnbuckles. More back and forth. Rollins with an enziguri. Rollins with a forearm in the corner. Rollins with a sling blade for a 2 count. Jericho blocks the suplex but runs into an elbow. Jericho with a knee to the rib. Jericho scoops Rollins' butt. Rollins counters with a knee to the back for a 2 count. They end up in the corner. Jericho goes for a superplex. Rollins blocks it and sends Jericho to the mat. Rollins goes for a crossbody, but Jericho drop kicks him in midair for a 2 count. Rollins blocks a code breaker and kicks Jericho in the throat for a 2 count. More back and forth. Owens distracts Rollins from the floor. Gets kicked in the mouth from the apron. Jericho ends up with Rollins in the walls of Jericho. Rollins calls for the bottom rope and makes it to break the hold. Owens drops Rollins with a cheap shot, but he's still kicked out at 2. Owens yells at Jericho as Jericho argues with the referee. Jericho kicks Rollins while he's on the apron. Jericho misses the springboard and lands on the floor at Owens' feet. Rollins runs the ropes and nails the dive onto Owens. Jericho goes back in the ring. Rollins follows and Jericho runs into a kick. Rollins with a springboard knee to the face for a 2 count. Rollins goes back to the top, but Jericho moves and avoids the wrong splash. Jericho hits the line top for a close 2 count. Jericho goes to the top, but Rollins kicks him down. Rollins climbs up top for a superplex. Jericho shoves him to the mat and yells at him to get up. Jericho jumps, but Rollins kicks him. Jericho blocks the pedigree and goes for the walls, but Rollins rolls him up for the pinfall. Winner, Seth Rollins. Owens immediately rushed the ring and kicked Rollins in the face. Owens beats Rollins down. Owens yells at Rollins as Jericho recovers. Rollins blocked a pop-up powerbomb and goes for a pedigree, but Jericho made a save. Jericho stomped on Rollins. Rollins countered and nailed a pedigree on Jericho as Owens looked on from the ramp. Rollins pointed out at Owens, and they have words. Roll goes off the air with Jericho down and Rollins motioning to him, to Owens. It's like, come on back in the ring. And that concludes my Raw results and Superstar spoilers for this week. I did not find any dark match results posted. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on the video. And if you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.